Right. All right. Good morning. I would like to call to order this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners. I invite you all to rise by an invocation with Todd Luce of the Grandview Christian Church. While he is coming forward, I would like to let you all know we do have masks with us. We are social distancing here in chambers, but taking off our masks to speak so you can all hear us at home. So, thank you.
Would you bow with me, please? Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the day, and we thank you for the cool weather and moisture. Lord, we pray that it will help the fires that are in our state. Even though our county doesn't have one, Lord, we know that our state is suffering from that. And Lord, I pray that you be with the commissioners today, that you would bless them and give them knowledge and wisdom to make the right choices for our county. I pray this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Payne.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
And for those watching, County Manager Bryant and Planning and Zoning Director Garrett are in the audience today.
Thank you, Justin. Up first is the approval of today's agenda. I know of no changes we need to make.
Me neither, Madam Chair. I move to approve the agenda. Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's agenda as presented. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Consent agenda today, we are scheduling 2 public hearings. These both will happen on Tuesday, October 13th, beginning at 10 a.m. One will follow this. We are scheduling 3 public hearings for that day. So one will follow the other, which will follow the other. So we are beginning that day with a desert concrete pumping, which is a request for a special review use of desert concrete pumping for a contractor's yard for a concrete pumping business. The proposal includes a shop and a watchman's quarters off of 10th Street in Penrose near Highway 115. So if you're interested in that, please be here that morning. Part 2 will be a request of a special review use for a Black Hills Energy hogback station. This is going to be considered on a 40-acre site located off of County Road 69 in Canyon City near Highway 50 and also within Agricultural Forestry Zone District. The third public hearing that day will be another special review use for Black Hills Energy Penrose Station for a substation that would be located on 22 acres off of K Street in Penrose near Highway 115 and within the Agricultural Rural Zone District. Those 2, this board believes we may have a lot of folks showing up to discuss those, so I want to let you all know that we will be meeting later this week probably to put together some guidelines on what the rules will be that day when we all come together. So just so you know, we will get those out to the public so you can be prepared on that day to come in with appropriate public testimony. All right, anything further, gentlemen?
With that, Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's consent agenda. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Administrative and informational topics. We're going to begin this morning with staff and elected officials. We have a county clerk's monthly report from our county clerk, Justin Grantham. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and thank you. The total motor vehicle fees, sales tax, and recording fees collected for August were $1,294,453.86. Of that, Fremont County's portion for disbursement is $718,262.23, which is 55% of the total fees and is $14,215.80 more than the August before. Year to date, our office is down $115,361.36. We're slowly trickling to even out for the end of the year.
That's a great thing. Let's just get there by the end of the year. Gentlemen, any questions, comments?
No, I move to accept the clerk's monthly report.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to accept the county clerk's monthly report. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Justin.
You're welcome.
Up next, county manager report by our county manager, Sunny Bryant. Good morning, Sunny. As she quickly makes her way to the front.
Good morning. So we apologize, the screen, we're having some issues this morning, so we'll get that fixed very quickly. So a couple of items on my manager's report. So as I've announced the last couple meetings, we are working on the 2021 budget. And so all of the departments will get me their requests by the end of this week, and I will compile that, and we'll start meeting with the commissioners the week of September 21st. So that is quickly approaching. We have put the request for Pathfinder Park Community Center. The request for proposals has been out. There was a pre-bid meeting. There was about 9 or 10 contractors that attended that, so we're very excited to get those proposals in. And that is going to be a very exciting project over the next few months. And so we're also putting out a request for proposals to finish the space on the second floor of the courthouse. So that is a vacant space. It was unfinished when the commissioners that built the judicial building, they were thinking ahead and made sure that there was the ability to expand. And so it has come time where we've needed that expansion. So we're putting that proposal out this week, and we're very excited for that project. We received DOLA funds from funds from the Department of Local Affairs and funds from the underfunded courthouse. And so the county is putting forward about $75,000 as matching funds to get that project finished. And then we have opened up the second round of the Restart business grant funding. Those are through the CARES Act funds. And so that information is on the county website, and we're hopeful to receive some applications from businesses that can utilize those funds. So
All right.
that's all I have.
Thanks, Sunny.
Thank you.
Questions, comments for Sunny? All right. Other staff and elected officials. The only thing I really have this morning is I hope everyone had a safe and wonderful Labor Day yesterday. I don't think any of us were really ready for the smoke screen that came through. I know my lungs are still feeling the effects from yesterday. So if you hear me up here clearing my throat today, I do apologize for that. But hopefully today's weather is going to clear a lot of that out, and I know many of us are looking forward to the cooler and hopefully wetter weather. So gentlemen, anything?
Yeah, just kind of along that lines, the Fremont County is kind of in the middle of the county. We're under a winter weather advisory and a winter storm warning, so it just depends on which side of the county you're on. Expecting some moisture and cold air. I myself like the cold air, so I'm happy. But just a reminder too that we are still under stage 2 fire restrictions in Fremont County. It's still very, very, very dry out there. The moisture in the fuels up there, and what that means is the grass and the trees, the moisture that is in those is very minimal, if any, so it's very easily started on fire. So we need to be careful with that. Even if we do get some snow cover in some of the higher terrain, it'll still be dry as soon as that snow goes away. So be very diligent when you're out there. And that smoke yesterday, I know we had a lot of people worried in the county throughout that there was a fire next door because it looked like it was coming off the ground in several places here, but it was from those fires up north in Colorado and Utah, and that jet stream was just bringing it right in here, and it was terrible. I went to Pueblo yesterday, and it was even worse there, I think. So thanks for the heads up, everybody that did call in and asking, but we just need to be diligent so that we don't have those fires here, and hope for the best with the big ones up there.
All right. Thanks, Commissioner. Anything else? All right, we move next to citizens who may wish to address this board on a matter not scheduled on today's agenda. Do we have anyone who would like to stand and speak? Seeing none, we will move on. We have no old business for consideration today. We move right into new business. First up, Kinship Care Month proclamation. Representative Barry Acton of the Department of Human Services.
Not very.
I don't see Barry, even behind those masks.
Very sick today.
Oh, Barry is out ill today. Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. So whereas Fremont County is steadfast in its commitment to promoting the safety and well-being of our children, and this includes providing a stable household for all youth in which they can be nurtured and succeed. And whereas in 2019, nationally, 2.7 million children In Colorado, 33,000 children. And in Fremont County, a monthly average of 46 children were raised in kinship families with grandparents or relative caregivers who had stepped forward out of love and loyalty to care for their young relatives, providing them with a sense of connection, security, and ties to their cultural heritage, their family, and their community. And whereas caregivers reside in urban, rural, and suburban neighborhoods across Fremont County, and children, grandparents, and other relatives in kinship families face certain challenges, therefore, sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on. I'm struggling here. Are important for ensuring access to services that enable kinship youth to flourish in all facets of their lives. And Fremont County residents join to honor grandparents and relatives who step forward out of love and loyalty to care for at-risk children during times in which biological parents are unable to do so. And whereas Kinship Care Month provides an opportunity to showcase the accomplishments of countless youth throughout Fremont County who, with the unconditional support of grandparents and other relatives, citizens are encouraged to raise their awareness and understanding of the positive family environment that kinship families offer for many children. Now, therefore, we, the Fremont County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim September 2020 to be Kinship Care Month in Fremont County.
Thanks so much for reading that for us this morning. Mick, did you have something you would like to add before we have a discussion?
No, I did want to thank the commissioners for honoring Kinship Care Month. Truly looking at our numbers, and we just broke 50 children placed in care with kinship providers this month, which is a great number because in the past those would have been kiddos that were placed in foster care. And so we are so appreciative of grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, whatever it may be, because we can even look at teachers or close friends as those kinship placements. They've truly been a blessing for our kiddos as far as keeping them local and providing that home-like environment, and being with family is so important to them. So we really do appreciate it.
I agree with you, Mick. I don't think you can overstate the importance of kinship care for those children who already are experiencing upheaval in their lives. They have family issues, but to find a stable family member that they are able to live with and to stay with here in their own community is more important to those kids than we can ever express. So thank you so much for everything that you and your departments out at DHS do to help these kids out as well. Gentlemen, comments?
No, I just kind of want to follow on that. I appreciate everything you guys do out there, and I know it's very important you guys strive to get kinships rather than the kids going into foster care, and it's a huge advantage for those kids, I'm sure. And with that, Madam Chair, I move to approve a proclamation saying that September is Kinship Care Month in Fremont County.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve of the proclamation stating September of 2020 as Kinship Care Month here in Fremont County. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. And still up next, from the Department of Human Services, we have a Child Welfare Worker Appreciation Week resolution.
So again, thank you, commissioners. One of the things I wanted to say before reading the proclamation, I've been in child welfare now coming up to 20 years, and I am so excited by this particular proclamation, and especially excited for the many younger and newer workers that we have at our department, and being able to show them that how much we appreciate them and for the hard work they do. So Child Welfare Professionals Appreciation Week. Whereas the Fremont County Department of Human Services joins the National Child Welfare Worker Institute to honor our child welfare professionals, and whereas every day in Fremont County, local children are at risk of child abuse and neglect, and some have been removed from their homes to ensure safety, and whereas the challenging task of investigating child abuse, assessing safety, and providing services to ensure that the children of Fremont County are provided with nurturance, family connections, support, and services that allow a child to remain safely in their home or return home as expeditiously as possible falls to the professionals of Fremont County's child welfare system. And whereas child welfare professionals work in difficult and often dangerous situations with children who have been victimized or by physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, and other forms of maltreatment. And whereas these professionals selflessly undertake the endeavor to protect Fremont County children, often with long hours, emotional and physical demands, little appreciation, great criticism, and with dramatic impacts to their personal life. And whereas the work of the child welfare professionals of Fremont County requires them to take on the role of a frontline essential worker in the time of a global pandemic and provide services to the families of Fremont County in their homes and placements, despite the risk to the professionals' health and safety. And whereas innumerable injuries and deaths of children in Fremont County have been averted to the efforts of Fremont County's child welfare services. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the Fremont County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the week of September 14th through 18th, 2020 is Child Welfare Professionals Appreciation Week in Fremont County, and hereby recognize the staff of Fremont County Department of Human Services Child Welfare Division for their dedicated efforts in the protection of children in Fremont County.
Thanks, Mick. I would like to say I so appreciate you bringing this forward and coming to stand before us today. The proclamation discusses the difficult and often dangerous situations that our child welfare workers deal with. We as commissioners talk often about our employees and the situations they're in, the things they do, the jobs that they do. And one thing that I realized long ago is the emotional toll that has to be on people who work in child welfare is one of those. This is a job I could never do. I truly could never do. And so for all of those who do, please express our deep appreciation. This has to be one of the most difficult jobs that we have in Fremont County.
Thank you, and I will.
Thank you.
Just to piggyback on that, yeah, you have the utmost respect from us. We've, like Commissioner Bell said, we've talked about this many times, and we have the utmost respect for you guys. And with that, Madam Chair, I move to approve the Child Welfare Worker Appreciation Week resolution recognizing September 14th to 18th, 2020 as Child Welfare Professionals Appreciation Week.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the resolution stating Child Welfare Worker Appreciation Week will be September 14th through 18th of 2020. And again, expressing our deep gratitude to all of those who work in this field. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you so much.
Madam Chair, I just want to recognize that first speaker that we had there, he never said his name, was Mr. Tony Croce from the DHS. So we appreciate all that you guys do out at DHS for us. Mick, and if you guys will pass that on for us, appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Tony Croce and Mick Stump, both from DHS. Next before us, we have a proclamation for a National Suicide Awareness Month in Fremont County for September of 2020. Typically, we have Jessica Cobbler here with us this morning, and filling in for her is Carrie Canterbury. Good morning, Carrie.
Morning, Carrie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So did you want to speak a little bit about what this week is all about? And
Yes.
then we'll ask you to read the proclamation.
Yes, thank you. First of all, Jessica and the committee and I would like to thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time again this year. I'm filling in for our chairperson, Jessica Cobbler, who could not be here today. She lost her son, Dalton Cobbler, to suicide in June 2014. He was the valedictorian of his graduating class that year at Florence High School, and he was planning on attending the School of Mines that fall. Jessica always says that if this can happen in her family, it can happen in any family. Dalton was smart, kind, caring, and well-loved by his family and friends. It has since been Jessica's mission to educate the public on suicide prevention awareness, and I have been part of her team since our first walk in 2017. The walk raised close to $25,000 last year. Our goal this year is $28,000. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention uses the funds for educational resources and to create a public policy and lobbying arm to press for legislation and policies at the federal, state, and local levels that advance the goal of preventing suicide. This year is our 4th annual event, but while the Fremont County Out of the Darkness Walk is going to look different this year, our mission to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide has not changed. We are a strong and resilient community, united in our effort to fight suicide, raise awareness, educate our communities, support those who have lost loved ones, and support those with lived experience. We use our voices and share our stories to provide hope. So we invite the community to join us in this effort, the Out of the Darkness experience. It kicks off at 10 o'clock Saturday online, and we will hear from and see the American Foundation suicide prevention supporters from around Colorado, including me, share why suicide prevention and awareness is important to all of us. And that link is afsp.org/CO Together. So thank you again for letting us have a few minutes to share the importance of this vital topic.
Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I will read the proclamation. Whereas Fremont County is home to more than 46,000 people, a place of destination for thousands of visitors annually, and the site of about a dozen state and federal correctional facilities. And whereas the Fremont County coroner reported 30 suicides were investigated in 2019. Whereas Fremont County's average number of deaths by suicide typically is 12 to 16 per year. Whereas suicides cost Colorado a total of more than $1 billion of combined lifetime medical and work loss in 2017. Whereas in 2019, suicide was Colorado's 10th leading cause of death. And whereas in 2019, suicide was the second leading cause of death for ages 10 to 34 and the fourth leading cause of death for ages 35 to 54 in the U.S. Whereas on average, there are 132 suicides per day in the U.S., and whereas on average, one person dies by suicide every 7 hours in the state. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that September 2020 is hereby designated as National Suicide Prevention Month in Fremont County. The County Commissioners do urge all people of Fremont County to become educated on suicide prevention awareness and support those affected by suicide during this month and throughout the year.
All right, thank you so much for that,
Thank you.
Carrie. This is another of those topics that's very, very difficult to discuss and to have real conversations about, but I also would wager to bet that every single person knows a family who has been affected by suicide. So as difficult as these conversations are, they're incredibly important to bring forth and to come out of the darkness, to have these discussions and to help so many people out there, the families who are affected and mostly the victims themselves. They don't need to be victims of suicide. So thank you so much for the work that you and Jessica and your entire group are doing. We do appreciate everything.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. And Carrie, if you'll stay just for a moment, we actually have a signed proclamation to present to you.
Okay.
I do agree. I want to thank you guys, the work that Jessica does, that you guys do as a group, and anybody else that's involved in that. The walk's very important, and you see as people there that you don't realize have been involved with something like this, you know, through their families and what. It's pretty important. With that, Madam Chair, I'd move to approve the proclamation and proclaim that National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in Fremont County is September 2020.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the proclamation for National Suicide Awareness Month in Fremont County in September of 2020. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. We typically come up for pictures and things, but in today's world, I'm just going to hand this over to you. And there you go. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Thank you.
All right, item 4 under new business is a minor subdivision that includes a lot line adjustment for 2 properties located on Willow Street. The proposal includes 2 parcels, the first being 5.05 acres in size, the other being 0.5 acres. The proposal will result in 3 lots being platted. Lot 1 will be 1 acre in size, 2 will be 3.55, and Lot 3 will be 1.06. We have with us this morning Caleb Leonard. Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. This is my first time going through a minor subdivision, so.
Okay, so first, please step a little closer to the
sorry.
microphone.
Okay.
And just kind of explain where this is located, what you're looking to do, and maybe why.
Yep, so me and my family have lived on that 0.5 acre lot for approximately a little over 10 years, and we've always been neighbors with Mr. Lamborn's family, and over the years we've kind of watched this 5 acre, what used to be a farm, after talking with Gary a bit more, is just kind of come into disrepair. They haven't had the ability to take care of it, so about a year and a half ago, we approached Mr. Lamborn about purchasing some of that land from him, and we've been kind of working through what that looks like ever since. So what we came up with is they're going to retain an acre of that 5 acre farm. We did have to go through a quiet title because there's a funky little triangle piece that is probably the result of some fun new GIS stuff, which we've experienced in different venues. So we did go through that quiet title, acquired a 0.05 acre triangle on the frontage of Willow Street. And so now here we are. We will be adding half an acre of Mr. Lamborn's land plus that 0.05 acres to our current half acre. So we will then have what's it show here, 1.06 acres, which is actually in conformance with the zoning of that area. Our 0.5 acre was not in conformance with that, so it'll bring us up to a little over an acre. And then we'll also be purchasing that 3.55 acres. Our vision is that my parents will be purchasing that so they can be close to the grandkids and probably building a home out there. And then we'll be able to try to learn a bit more about farming and just try to take care of that land a bit more. It's been pretty overgrown, so just try to see if we can get something going out there, and that's about it.
All right, thank you so much. Do you have questions for Caleb?
I do not.
All right, we're going to turn next to a staff report by Sean Garrett, the Director of Planning and Zoning. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. The department has reviewed the application and finds it to be a complete and true representation of the request as stated herein. And the department finds that the Fremont County subdivision regulations will be satisfied by the application. There's 2 contingency items. One is just a couple little minor revisions to the plat, and the other is completed ratification, release, and consent forms.
So I see no waiver requests.
No waiver request.
All right. Questions for Sean?
No.
Nope.
This seems to be a pretty straightforward application to me, and I just would have to say, who could argue with putting grandparents next to their grandchildren?
I like to learn the farm part. I think that's cool. It gives people a different perspective of what agriculture and farming is when they try it themselves and learn what they may or may not be able to accomplish. So good luck.
That sounds like a warning to me, Caleb. I don't know. All right, gentlemen, if there's nothing else, I'm prepared to accept a motion.
Then, Madam Chair, I move to approve the minor subdivision 20-004 for the Willow Creek subdivision with the 2 contingencies.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the minor subdivision 20-004, the Willow Street subdivision, including the 2 contingency items. 1 is revisions to the plat, 2 is completed ratification, release, and consent forms. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, the final item on our agenda today is to appoint a new member to the Fremont County Airport Advisory Board to fill a vacant position with a term that will end on October 1st of 2022. We recently had a couple of vacancies on this board. At that time, we had 3 applications. We interviewed all 3. We selected 2 of the 3 and have already named them to the board. The 3rd gentleman is named Terrence Terrell. He would have been also, we felt, a very good addition to our board. We had a difficult time choosing 2 of the 3. We could have probably dropped them in a hat and pulled them out. So since we have, since that time, had another position open up, we had a conversation and decided, since we just recently interviewed him, to offer the position to him. He was very, very happy to accept. And so his name, I believe I already said, Terrence Terrell, and I had a discussion with him. He still is more than interested in being on this board.
With that, Madam Chair, I'd move to appoint a new member to the Fremont County Airport Advisory Board. The man's name is Terrence Terrell, for a vacant position, and his term will expire October 1st, 2022.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to appoint Terrence Terrell to fill the vacant position on the Fremont County Airport Advisory Board with a term that will expire on October 1st, 2022. He then would be eligible for reappointment if he so seeks. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, and with there being no further business to come before this board, we are adjourned.